This is an edit of the original video that I uploaded to my channel when the game released. Actually, it was a day after the game released. And I just did some random babbling about how, I'm sitting here in this menu and I'm waiting to get beyond the nerves that I'm feeling so that I can actually start playing the game. And, I just was saying a lot of silly stuff, but it was heartfelt stuff. I cut all of that out of this video. I cut out quite a bit of other things that are just, popping into my head and I was just, saying. And so I'm still, even talking about this now, I'm having a lot of trouble because I want to upload this. I want to have the nerve to do this, and I want to be able to do it for myself. Maybe it'll be easier because the game has been out for a while now and people have, moved on to other things, although there's still a lot of the channels that I'm subscribed to, they're still playing the game. They're slow to get through them because they're doing other games while they're doing this game and whatever. We all, as gamers, we all know how that works. What triggered all of this for me is the fact that I made a comment on a new channel that I recently subbed to. Well, not a new channel. I'm a new sub to this channel. And I left a very innocent comment about how nervous I was and how eager I was to start the game, and that I hoped that everybody was going to enjoy it, and everybody that had played the original game was going to enjoy it, to love it as much as they had the first game. And I was surprised however I worded it, at the time, the people that have the channel liked it and they pinned it, and that's never happened to me. So that was a first. Then I started getting likes on it, and the likes kept accumulating. And as of now, I've gotten the most on that particular comment that I've ever gotten before, and it's up to 16K. It's not pinned now. Today it was unpinned. They replaced it with somebody else, but I honestly didn't expect it to be pinned as long as it was. Anyway, I started getting snarky replies. Even though I was getting a lot of thumbs up, a lot of likes, I was getting snarky comments, written comments, and people were taunting me. They assumed I hadn't seen the leaks. So I get that, I do. But I was getting people, they weren't telling me what the leaks were. They weren't mentioning the leaks, but it was a lot of people saying, you're going to be disappointed. Has anybody told her that, the game sucks? It was just, they were trying to say snarky things to me and tell me that I was going to end up being so radically disappointed and do it while they weren't telling me about the leaks. And it was hard not to think it was funny because, I already knew about the leaks. Anyway, from there it went downhill, and my inbox started filling up with people trashing the game and literally calling it trash and garbage, and just saying such hateful things about it, saying that Naughty Dog had betrayed the gaming community with this game and that it should never have been made. And I won't even repeat some of what was being said to me in these replies, but I was able to deal with that, even though it hurt, because of my sense about this series, and the fact that while all of this is going on, I'm still working my way through the game. What got to me and pushed me into the second part of this video, the part where I kind of slowly started getting more and more emotional until I finally just broke down, and the hurt part of me started coming out. The part of me that thought, this is my community. This is the part of me that I've always been so passionate about. And part of that has been my being involved in the gaming community, doing co-op online, and all of it is just, this is such an intricate part of who I am as a person. And to have my own people, my own fellow gamers, saying such hateful things about the gay aspect of this game, about Abby, even before the game released, the whole part of her supposedly being transgender. Nobody knew for sure whether or not she was transgender, but because she's so buff, that's where everybody was going with it. She's a horrible person. She's a transgender. She's a freak. And look what she does to Joel. She beats him to death. This tranny beats him to death with a golf club. So I'm internalizing all of this while I'm trying not to internalize it. And that's why I ended up going where I did in the second part of this video. I'm talking more even now than I thought I would, because it starts just touching that part of me, starts bringing up all of these lifelong hurts and concerns about what does that mean for me. I am a little bit on the not religious side, but the spiritual side. I know enough about that whole religious aspect, that even when you start dragging God into it, it's not bad enough that people hate you, but God hates you, and people here don't want you, and when you die, God supposedly is not going to want you. I grew up with all of that. So when the community is brought into it, when that gaming aspect of myself is brought into such an intricate part of who I am, how do I not let it, overwhelm me at times? And that's what's been happening with this. Oh my gosh, I gotta shut up. I'm gonna shut up and just, and yeah. I'm really nervous doing this. I'm always nervous, but this video is being made after the one that I made last night before I started The Last of Us 2. I ended up playing more than I thought I would. I got about four hours into the game, and I thought I'd probably only play for maybe a couple of hours, maybe 2.5, 3 at the most. Actually, I went over 4 hours. It was closer to 5 hours now that I think about it. I really am having a hard time with what's happening to this game. I don't know. I'm going to stumble a lot over this because I don't want to get emotional, and I probably will end up getting emotional anyway. People can say this is just a video game, and it is. All video games are just video games. But like with anything else in life that we have as human beings, whether you're into sports or movies or, I don't know, hobbies. There are people that collect books, people that collect art. We all have those things that mean something special to us, that are a part of who we are as a person. They represent us in some way, either, good or bad. And for me, gaming has been a lifelong passion. And I go back a ways with my gaming. It's helped to get me through some times in my life that have been very, very dark. Being part of the community has been another anchor for me, when I felt kind of like I was drifting away and when I was feeling so lost, and, for various different reasons. We all go through those dark times. And if we're lucky, we have family, we have friends, and we have hobbies and things that make those times easier for us. So I keep repeating myself, but I just want to emphasize how important gaming is to me. The fact that The Last of Us is tied with Red Dead Redemption 2 for my favorite game of all time meant that going into the sequel was going to be a major deal for me. And I know I'm not alone in this. This obviously, the hype in the gaming community going online has been really, really big. All of this is not what's making this game so painful for me. Knowing what the community is doing to it. And why? Because it isn't just the storyline. It isn't just what's happening to the characters and what may happen to the characters that I still at this point obviously don't know one way or the other if the leaks are true. But it's the whole thing about gay people. I'm just going to say it. Queers. The LGBTQ community. I have trouble with those
letters, getting them in the right order all the time. It's what's happening to, I'm going to say queer. I know a lot of people don't like it. They think it's an insult. I personally don't. I just, queer, gay, whatever. These to me are basically just words. The words aren't what hurt. It's what people are feeling and thinking when they are either saying the words to your face or they're writing them down like they are in Metacritic. It's their sense of who you are as a human being that's tied up in those words like queer and gay and fruit and pansy and whatever. I don't know. There are a bazillion different names, for us. And yes, us. Uh, I, I am part of that community, and this is where I'm probably going to start to. I so much of what I'm reading since the game launched and even before it did, going back to when the first game released, and it looked pretty obvious to me that Ellie was going to turn out to be gay. And even then, there were people that were getting their panties all bunched up uh, over the suggestion that she might be gay. Oh no, no, it was a friendly kiss and it's strictly platonic and blah, blah, whatever. There was just so much bullshit being put out there about it. Bottom line is, these people just they liked the game. They even loved the game, but the thought of one of their favorite characters in a game being hinted at as being gay was just too much for them to handle. I mean, they were just, losing their shit over it. So going back even to that point in time, I was hurting. And when the leaks came out and the community just went totally batshit crazy over a woman, a female character that is supposedly transgender, doing what she ends up doing. And then, of course, Ellie coming out obviously is just full-blown queer. There is just... The words that people use hurt. Sick, perverted, twisted, mental. The SJW agenda being shoved down my throat. The same thing with the LGBTQ agenda. They're coming out of the woodwork, out in full force now, because, and part of it, I know, not part of it, probably most of it, is because this game was so anticipated, and it is, it has the DNA from the first game. It's all tied together, and as much as I understand that, I don't understand the mindset of people. I'm a human being, and I have never understood why my wanting to see myself reflected back in all forms of media, all forms of art and entertainment is somehow translated into an agenda, or me trying to shove my life down somebody's throat. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Even the people who say that they are okay with the gay community, or try to pretend that they are, even some of them have limits. Well, I'm fine as long as, the character isn't too queer, as long as the lesbian isn't too masculine, as long as she isn't too aggressive, as long as the gay guy isn't too gay, isn't too flamboyant, There's, again, these limits. Well, I'll have a couple of dykes in there. Sure, go ahead. I don't mind. Just don't have them touching each other. Don't show any type of affection or intimacy between them, because, it's all of these arbitrary lines that are put down, even by people who say that they're cool with somebody being queer, that if you cross those arbitrary lines, even they start screaming agenda. And SJW, shit, and all of it, they're just losing their minds. This is really hitting me personally, and I cannot believe, if I upload this, it'll show how hurt I am. that I'm actually bearing my soul this way and I'm putting myself out on my channel in this way. I deal with a lot of issues in my life. I do have pretty bad hearing loss, and keeping my channel going for me has been a struggle. And the fact that I've done it shows how much I have gotten out of putting myself out there and struggling with my insecurities and trying to fight my inner demons by keeping this channel going. And this game has really hit me hard in my heart, in my humanity. And if anybody listens to this and thinks, badly of me, I want to say I don't care. And that won't be completely true because I will. But I'm exposing myself in this way because I am a human being. And I'm a gamer. And I'm queer. I'm a lesbian. Well, actually, I kind of lean towards bisexual. But does that make it any better? For years I thought I was strictly gay, and then over time I've come to realize that I'm probably most likely bi. And does that make it better? Does that mean that some people that would hate me for being a lesbian would actually go, well, hey, if you're bi, that's only half bad. You're only half perverted. I don't know. The fact that we're still in this time in our history having this debate and trying to act as if we have the right to judge anybody's humanity, whether it's your gender, your sexuality, your race, your religion, your politics. It sucks. It really does suck. And I used to believe that maybe the time would come when this wouldn't be happening. But the fact that it is happening now with this game, I don't know. I have nothing else to say. So I'm going to shut up. I've said so much more than I thought I would, and it's only because right now my emotions are raw. And that's all.